Hello?
All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to the Four Colored Man podcast. This is your host, Terry Blues, and we got a special guest in here today. My man, I've been knowing this dude for a long time. It's funny because I've been knowing this dude for a long time through the internet, and in person, we've only linked up only a handful of times, but it's still love whenever we see each other, man. Yo, I got my homie Big U in the house, man. What's good, baby?
What's good, man? How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I really appreciate you coming on today.
Yes, no problem, man.
Now, before we get started, man, I want to tell a funny story. I like to, a lot of my guests I know personally, and I have these interesting stories, about certain things. So I want to tell this funny story real quick, right? And so, like I said, man, I've been fucking with Big U for a minute, and I don't know, like, how I actually started. I think you was fucking with C on some music shit and like doing graphics and videos when back when you was rapping, right? I remember I had been fucking, like, we had communicated online for a couple times, and I remember C was shooting a video for you. And I popped up, and mind you, like, I'm just there. I ain't had no haircut. I'm in that bitch with some holes in my balling shorts and a sloppy t-shirt and some slides. You know what I mean? So I'm just out there with my nigga. I know he's shooting a video, and the whole time we shoot this video, hours we out there, video get done. We leave. Nigga post a picture like, oh yeah, we out here, big trouble, Big U. That nigga hit me, I was like, yo, nigga, that was you.
Oh, shit.
That nigga's like, man, I didn't even know that was you.
Yeah, because I had seen, the bitch. Like, man, when we was like rapping, like real, real, I think it was like 09, 2010.
Yeah.
2011, around that, in that era. I was all about like the area. I was like, yo, I just want to see everybody shine. So, Waco was like, that's like a brother, like a sister city, brother city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We both 254. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's basically extension. It ain't like it's Austin, right? Austin is kind of like his own thing, but like Waco and Killeen, like we kind of in the same realm. You know what I'm saying? I was always, peeping out everybody that was doing stuff in the area. And I do remember seeing like your cover arts for your music, The Big Trouble. You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of one of the reasons why I even started messing with One Mind. So I could, because I was like, okay, I like what they doing over here. You know what I'm saying? Let me go holler at them.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. I remember that, like, yo, so with that, right? Like, I want to give a little background. Well, first of all, before we do that, go ahead and, run down your resume. Because right now, I know you're running the Trillmatic podcast. So this is the Four Color Man Trillmatic mashup episode. So shouts out to my man. And, right now, y'all on what, episode like 130 something? Like
135. Yeah. We
about to
man. 136.
And like we were saying, like I was saying before, like offline, you were one of the inspirations for me even starting this up, because everybody out here is like, yo, consistency.
Right.
And I was like, I remember I was one of the first, you hit me up to be one of the first guests on your joints.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was like episode 3. And now you're on episode 135. I was like, yo, let me hit this nigga up because he really doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So, like, give a little rundown of your resume, your history.
For some of y'all probably already know me. I started rapping. I've been rapping for a long time, but I started like really taking it serious. I think I probably really started like trying to make some moves around like 06, 07. And then from there, I just kept growing it. And then I started putting out, like some mixtapes with like some high profile DJs and whatnot. And then from there, I actually got into the internet side of it. And because I, one of the things that I had funny story, there was some little movement that was going on out here in Killeen, and where they brought in like the DJs from from radio stations in big cities. And I remember they brought this one DJ from one of the stations in Dallas. And they was out just trying to give everybody game on how to get their music popping or how to get their single popping. And but what I realized was the information that he was giving was catered to like a particular type of audience or a particular type of sound of rap, which was pretty much club music. You know what I'm saying? Which I wasn't really making club music. I don't think I ever really made a club song. So when I asked them in front of the whole group of people in there, I was like, "Yo, what that shit is cool, but what do you do for people that's lyricists or they rap? Like, what's the tip for that?" And he was like, "Yo, get on your internet game." You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I did. I kind of just ramped up, started trying to ramp up the internet presence, but at the same time, everybody was doing that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that kind of became like a Wild Wild West kind of era. But then I realized too that being from Killeen, that we just didn't really have the outlets that say like a Houston had or LA or Miami. You know what I'm saying? So what me and my chick what we created was syntaxhiphop.com, where that was, you know what I'm saying, we kind of made a website that was based on just Central Texas artists to kind of give them a platform. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I kind of want everybody to shine, whether it was Killeen, Waco, Austin, Temple, Bryan College Station, and pretty much everything in between.
Yeah,
and,
man. Yeah. I remember that. Y'all showed me love on that. I remember y'all posted me a few times for different shit I was doing, man.
Right. It was all about making the area kind of pop, man. But that eventually hits like a glass ceiling. You know what I'm saying? And then I pivoted to Trailmatic.com, and then after that, as blogging kind of I don't want to say is dead, but it's kind of it's not really popping as much. So we just pivoted into podcasting, and here we are today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's what's up. And that's the thing, like, why I kind of wanted to bring you on here. Like, I mean, I see your consistency, but also, man, I think, our stories are, parallel in the sense of like, everybody like now know me as Terry Blues, but if you look it up, man, Big Trouble, you can still find them albums out there. Right. I still got some videos out there. Look it up, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that was back in the early, you know what I mean? I think we both came in on that early stage of like the transition of physical music to internet shit.
Internet, right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think, like, I've seen you pivot, you know what I mean? And know when to go in and out, or like what the next big groove is. Because like I remember you on the what was this? This was about, when did we like randomly run into each other in Vegas? That was
oh shit, when was that? I think that was 2015. Yeah, that was 2015.
Yeah, about 2015.
That was so damn random, bro. I just wasn't expecting to see you all the way out there in the same vicinity. That was just such a random.
Yeah, that shit was wild because I was out there for the Broadcasters Education Festival, and you was out there on. It was pretty much the same festival, but they had like different events. Yeah. And you was on that podcast game, and I ain't. Yeah, you know what the fuck that was, man. You know what I mean? Like, even then.
The funny thing was that I went out there because I knew I had wanted to get into the podcast game, but it was the podcast game. I mean, podcasting has been around for years, right? But but as far as like black people, niggas, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That side of it has been pretty hush for it. Just recently started kicking off. You know what I'm saying? So when I went to New Media Expo, what I was trying to do is figure out what the hell I was going to talk about, because the podcast that I was listening to, there was nowhere near as much diversity as it is today, right? But before, it was a lot of like business podcasts, marketing podcasts. That's what I was doing. I was like, I was using all that information that people were giving out. All this, like, to me, it was like free game. You know?
Yeah. Most definitely, yeah.
Right. I'm hearing interviews of people. It was almost like you were like a fly on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Conversations. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I originally used it for. You know what I'm saying? But and I remember being there talking to some of these guys that had been doing it, and I was like, "Yo, what do I do?" And they kept on trying to shift me into doing the same thing they were doing, but for like music, which was like sell information products and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that shit don't just, it just didn't seem right to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I went there, it gave me some, like being around people, I started talking to other people, and I started to get the ideas. Like, all right, I know exactly how I want to do a podcast. But at that point, I don't think I started yet. I was just kind of, maybe I want to do this, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's pretty much what why I was out there, man.